Hi, I'm dietitian Ashley Koff. Thank you so much for opting in. I'm so excited to have you get this case study, and I'm going to dive right in. I'm also super conscious of your time, so I want to make it worth it. So I am going to get started and not have it jump ahead. All right, this is Sarah. Sarah is a patient of mine that for 20 years of working with thousands of patients, I will always remember Sarah and her smile. And I want all of us to have patients, more patients like Sarah. So Sarah wrote me an email and she said, and it was panic. I'm sure so many of you have had this experience where she's actually just said, I saw my doctor, he diagnosed me with acid reflux. I'm worried that I can't take those pills. I actually, Dr. Googled, saw that they could hurt my bones. I'm super focused on my bone health. But at the same time, I understand I have these symptoms. I feel like everything I eat makes me feel bloated. I tried eating no carbs, doing that keto-ish thing. Maybe some better outcomes, but I feel like it's making me moody, but I do physically feel better from a bloating standpoint when I don't eat carbs. Is it possible I'm just actually allergic to something I'm eating? So many of us know a Sarah. All right, so with Sarah, what I did was what I do with all of my patients, and I've been doing this for 20 years, but now I have the Better Nutrition tools to help me efficiently gather all the data that I want to have before I even see my patient. So you can even see my phone number in here. I said to her, wonderful, make sure that I get these forms filled out 72 hours before our session, because that means I'm better prepared, and I know she's also better prepared by filling them out. So what we have in her digestive evaluation are these are all the questions, and they're grouped according to questions. I actually had one practitioner who's using the tools recently say to me, she just loves the groupings because it makes it so easy. Some of the things I found out really early on, not only is she sometimes constipated, she actually will take something if she doesn't go after 2 days. I also learned things about caffeine and or cigarette use to help her go. We learned things about, her feeling like she doesn't necessarily smell as pretty as she wants to be or thinks she should, on that part. So that's actually a great indicator for us. She's really trying to get in a rainbow, so that's also helpful for me to know, where I can give her props and be helpful. She's going through menopause, so that's also great information for me. But asking some other questions about her movement, like, are you physically moving? Are you traveling? What's going on there? As well as, I already knew she had reflux and was bloated, but I certainly had asked about those pieces. Then I found out some more important information, from historically yeast infections, sinus infections. So that means medications, even though right now she's not taking any of those. She does get sick more often than once a year. So something tells me that her digestive system, immune system isn't doing its better job. Also things like dark colors under her eyes, how's she feeling on that part? And then she had tried collagen, but didn't feel like it was effective and isn't sure if she's getting in enough fiber. Wow. I have so much information already about Sarah, and it helped me lay out a roadmap for my session. So I just feel so much more prepared. You guys, even after 20 years, I've had things come up where it's is a medication gets mentioned that I don't remember or I never heard of, or different things in these tools, especially when I'm assessing things, like getting more specific into some nutrient assessments. And so it's just so helpful because it gives me the time to also look up or even hop on a Facebook group and Facebook group a friend, right, to find out the information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask about those medications, sinus infections, yeast infections. When was she taking them? How often? What is she taking when she hasn't pooped for a couple of days? I need to know that part. I need to know about her caffeine take. I should add here, it could have been cigarettes, so I want to ask about that. And during her session, I need to understand, is her magnesium and calcium in a better balance? Because, we know all of our cells need enough magnesium, and 70% of women are not getting in enough magnesium, which means that their digestive tract muscles don't have what it needs to relax. And maybe she's taking in calcium for that bone health, and that could actually be contributing. She might even be getting in enough magnesium, but added calcium could be a factor. I want to know about her added sugar intake. If it's higher, it could be contributing to more of an acid environment and also more bloating, and it also could be a factor in her immune health. I'm going to introduce the whole notion of acid and alkaline formers and just help her understand the role in digestion, especially when we're talking about creating a healthy environment for good bacteria, for those probiotics. We're going to talk about common gas-producing foods. We need to make sure we ask about gum. We need to also ask about bubbles. Are you drinking alcohol bubbles? Are you drinking bubbly water? A lot of people to reach their hydration goals are drinking bubbly water. Bubbles in, bloating, right? Bubbly, right? Inside of us, especially in a system that's not moving that well. We're going to discuss stress, different kinds of it, how all stress is going to affect digestion, really creating that tension. And that again is going to bring me back to magnesium. I'm going to introduce better liquid nutrition as a tool that we can use to help her get in nutrient dense, to get in that nutrient density, but especially to help her feel better when she's bloated. I also, because she asked about the food allergies, intolerances, irritated system, my professional experience is I would much rather try tuning up her digestive system and then actually doing some testing. So we're going to talk about that part. And then I'll also review her food journal and go through that piece. So what we actually ended up doing, and this is what I ended up prescribing for her after our session and having a conversation, we went through specific ways that she can actually, non-food related ways, all the ways that she can engage and move things around in her digestion, which is going to be helpful, especially if she feels bloated, if she feels gassy, also going to be really helpful for that movement to prevent the acid reflux, or at least to help make it be better. And then breathing just as an ability to also help address the cellular response and turn off that stress and that tension. I'm going to share that I went through, but I'm going to have shared the better alkaline forming guide so that she knows those alkaline formers and she can work on getting those in more often, including in her better liquid nutrition choices, which I'm also going to share that guide. Obviously emphasizing water and making sure it's not bubbly, making sure that if she moves over to liquids, we're really conscious of nutrient balance, because I don't want her to be too high on carbohydrate or on added sugars or even on natural sugars, because that might be unfavorable in terms of both bloating and the acid reflux side. And then if she's bloated in the evening, especially greater than an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, which we'll come back to it at the end in terms of tracking, then I'm also going to share that liquid could be great in the evening, but it's awesome for post-workout and during times of high stress. And then I want to provide recipes, preparation options, all these different things for the foods that tend to have bloating, so instead of maybe raw cruciferous vegetables, let's cook them, let's saute them, let's figure different things out, and then also options to swap for them so that when that bloating is going up on the scale, we can help her on that part. I have the digestive tune-up program, so if you are a member and you are getting our shop of tools, then you would be getting that to use with your patients, but you can also make your own supplement recommendations. You can use our digestive tune-up guide. It really also depends on your scope and what you're comfortable with. Things that I use to tune up digestion, especially in someone with acid reflux, because the deglycyrrhizinated licorice and the aloe is so effective, along with the glutamine for repairing the mucosal layer, is Glutagenics. That's a Metagenics product. That's an actual specific product. I also use digestive enzymes strategically to help her on that part. Then I also am actually going to remove her calcium supplement and use calcium coming in via foods. We're going to make sure that within her probiotics, we're emphasizing getting in a bifidobacteria, a lot of really important benefits for digestion and immune health. And then we'll focus on what the right balance of that magnesium is. She may need a supplement for a period of time or ongoing, depending on how she does with the food choices. And I'll share the menu with her, and we'll go through actually and have her circle those. That's what I asked her to do in follow up and send me which one she's open to consuming, and then we'll build her plan around that. I'm going to have her track using the Better Nutrition Journal and give an added rating to tell me when she's bloated. We moved ahead. And then bingo, this is as much for me as for her, as for all of us. I'm going to offer to share the recommendations with her practitioners. Notice I don't say with her doctor here, because if she lets me, I'm going to share it with her dentist, with her eye doctor, with her, acupuncturist, with her trainer if she's working with a trainer, with her therapist if she's working with a therapist. Now, one of the reasons why is I want everybody on the same page and I can be that quarterback. The other reason is, my friends, it is a great way to generate referrals. So I love that part. All right. So for everyone, to recap, every client, you will benefit from using the Better Digestive Evaluation with every client. Where you go from there is going to depend on kind of which of the tools, how you're structuring your sessions. Do you want the digestive tune-up? Remember, I mentioned things like the alkaline guide, the liquid nutrition guide. We have over 30 different guides. We have over 20 different menus and 20 different evaluations, but here are just some of the different ones that I may use during the session or as follow-up. So why would you want to get the Better Shop of Tools, and why would I not want that to speed ahead? Because when you get the Better Nutrition Shop of Tools, you get all of this. You get the most effective way to efficiently gather the critical data that you need. It helps you assess total nutrition, so your foods and your supplements and other things that may impact those, medications, lifestyle, life stage, preferences. It's also going to help with you complementing other assessments and help you kind of understand what labs or stool tests or other things are telling you. And then, of course, better prepared clients and a better prepared practitioner equals better sessions. We're not mind readers. They're not going to remember to bring everything in and give us all the information. A lot of times they don't even fill out intake forms. I probably don't even fill out all the intake forms when I go into my doctor's office, or if I do, I'm just breezing through and looking for all the places to put X marks or no's. If I spend the time ahead of time, I'm going to think through and be able to share that information, especially if I do it in my kitchen where everything is that I'm actually using. The other part is it's really affordable. It's a one-time purchase, and then you get to use these unlimited. We also provide updates during the year, plenty of different opportunities for you to get what you need. You also, if you want them, you get the Better Nutrition expert recommendations for consideration. So all of our tools are developed by Better Nutrition experts, which, remember, by definition in my book, are people who are science-based and practice-based. So they're going to give recommendations for consideration. You do not have to share those recommendations with your patients, because if you get the Shop of Tools, you get the provider versions, which allow you to write your notes in, and they don't have any hyperlinks, and they don't have any of the promotions of our supplement store, but also they don't include the recommendations and the evaluation. So you get the consumer version so you can see those, and you get the practitioner version so you can share with your clients only what you want to share with them. Then remember, you get referral generation. Remember, I was saying share any of your patients' information with their practitioners with their permission. You also get ready-made lead magnets and customizable programs. We can talk more about that at another point. And you also get notice and get referrals from us. We promote you through the Better Nutrition Provider Referral Network, and then our social media and our posts as well. So thrilled to have you on board if you grab the Better Nutrition Shop of Tools. So I don't know why it keeps going from there. Are you ready for better? I want you to click that apply now, because you should be like me and like Sarah. We will all want to enjoy better. All right, click that button right now.